Hi guys, and welcome back to Hilltop Farm. I'm Jay, and welcome to another lesson in Wicca. Today is lesson 21, and we're actually learning about the Sabbat Festival of Ostara. Let's get straight into the lesson, shall we? I love my festivals. You can probably gather that already. Okay, lesson 21, the history of Ostara. Spring has finally arrived. It is the time to celebrate the festival of Ostara, and it's a true marker that spring has come. Depending on your particular tradition, there are many different ways that you can celebrate Ostara. Typically, it is observed as a time to mark the coming of spring and the fertility of the land. By watching agricultural changes such as the ground becoming warmer and the emergence of plants from the ground, you know exactly how you should welcome the season. At this time of year, Wiccans and pagans choose to celebrate the balance of light and dark that heralds the beginning of spring. It is a time to celebrate new life and rebirth, not only the physical embodiment of renewal, but the spiritual as well. Ostara is a time of balance. It is a time of equal parts light and dark. At Marbon, we have the same balance, but the light is leaving us. Today, 6 months later, it is returning. Spring has arrived, and with it, hope and warmth. Deep within the cold earth, seeds are beginning to sprout. In the damp fields, the livestock are preparing to give birth. In the forest, under a canopy of newly sprouted leaves, the animals of the wild ready their dens for the arrival of their young. Spring is here. Set up an Ostara altar. Similar to the symbols observed at Easter, like eggs, rabbits, new bulbs of flowers, and seedlings bursting forth from the earth, many pagans embrace these symbols to represent the fertility of spring and incorporate them into rituals, altars, and celebratory feasts. To get an idea of what colours are appropriate for spring, all you really have to do is look outside. Decorate your altar in any of these colours. Notice the pink and white blossoms on the waking fruit trees, the vibrant reds and yellows in the rose garden, and the green of the new leaves appearing in the melting snow. Pastels are often considered spring colours as well, so feel free to add some pale pinks and blues into the mix. You can try pale green altar cloth with some purple and blue draped across it, and add some yellow or pink candles. Ostara is a time of balance between light and dark, so symbols of this polarity can be used. Use a god and goddess statue, perhaps, a white candle and a black one, a sun and a moon, or you can use a yin-yang symbol. Since Ostara is also a time of new growth and life, you can add potted plants, such as the new crocuses, or daffodils, lilies, and other magical spring flowers to your altar. This is the time of year when animals are bringing forth new life too. You can put a basket of eggs on your altar, or figures of new lambs, rabbits, or calves. You might want to add a chalice of milk or honey. The milk represents the lactating animals who have just given birth, and the honey is long known as a symbol of abundance. Hold an Ostara ritual for solitaries. As I've said with other Sabbats, there are some rituals you can do as a coven and some as a solitary. In these lessons, we're covering things as a solitary, because nearly all witches begin their path as a solitary. And don't worry about finding a coven, because about 95% of witches continue practicing as a solitary their whole lives. It's normal. You don't have to belong to a coven to be a successful or powerful witch. In addition to decorating your altar, you'll need the following: 3 candles, 1 yellow, 1 green and 1 purple, a bowl of milk, and a small bowl of honey or sugar. Perform this ritual outside if at all possible in the early morning as the sun rises. It's spring, so it may be a bit chilly, but it is a good time to reconnect with the earth. Start by casting your circle or bubble. Begin by taking a moment to focus on the air around you. Inhale deeply and see if you can smell the change in the seasons. Depending on where you live, the air may have an earthy aroma, or a rainy one, or even smell like green grass. Sense the shift in energy as the wheel of the year has turned. Light the green candle to symbolize the blossoming earth. As you light it, say, "The wheel of the year turns once more, and the vernal equinox arrives. Light and dark are equal, and the soil begins to change. The earth awakens from its slumber, and new life springs forth once more." Next, light the yellow candle, representing the sun. As you do, say, "The sun draws ever closer to us, greeting the earth with its welcoming rays. Light and dark are equal, and the sky fills with light and warmth. The sun warms the land beneath our feet and gives life to all in its path." Next, light the purple candle. This one represents the divine in our lives, whether you call it a god or a goddess, whether you identify it by name or simply as a universal life force. It is the candle which stands for all the things that we do not know, all the things we cannot understand, but that are sacred in our daily lives. As you light this candle, focus on the divine around and within you. Say, "Spring has come, for this we are thankful. The divine is present all around." In the cool fall of a rainstorm, in the tiny buds of a flower, in the down of a newborn chick, in the fertile fields waiting to be planted, in the sky above us and in the earth below us, we thank the universe for all it has to offer us, and are so blessed to be alive on this day. Welcome life, welcome light, welcome spring. Take a moment and meditate on the 3 flames before you and what they symbolize. Consider your own place within these 3 things: the earth, the sun, and the divine. How do you fit into the grand scheme of things? How do you find balance between light and dark in your own life? Finally, blend the milk and honey together, mix gently. Pour it onto the ground around your altar space as if offering to the earth. As you do, you may wish to say something like, "I make this offering to the earth as thanks for the many blessings I have received, and those I shall someday receive." Once you have made your offering, stand for a minute facing your altar. Feel the cool earth beneath your feet and the sun on your face. Take in every sensation of this moment and know that you are in a perfect place of balance between light and dark, winter and summer, warmth and cold, a time of polarity and harmony. When you are ready, end the ritual. Ostara magic. Spring is a time of rebirth and renewal. Why not take advantage of the season to do a bit of spring magic? Now is a good time to use spring to work on magic related to rebirth and growth. So any spells you need to do that involve magic and rebirth and new beginnings and all that, Ostara is a good time to do those workings, work them into, you can either work them into the ritual or do them as a separate thing. Okay, Ostara crafts and creations. As Ostara rolls in, you can decorate your home and keep your kids entertained with easy craft projects. Start celebrating by making a basket of naturally dyed eggs. In many cultures and societies, the egg is considered the perfect magical symbol. It is, after all, representative of new life. In fact, it is the life cycle personified. Decorate coloured eggs to place around your home. Place a bowl or basket of them on your altar and include them in your Ostara meal plans. Witches in the northern hemisphere do have the advantage of having Ostara just before the Christian festival of Easter. So your shops are full of Easter eggs and things like that, which you can incorporate into your Ostara festival. There's no reason why you can't. They're eggs, they're rabbits, they're colourful, they're joyful. So by all means, work those in. You can even incorporate hot cross buns, which is a personal favourite of mine. Incorporate some hot cross buns into the festival somehow. Don't worry about the cross on the top. We know that the Christians put it there as a symbol of Jesus dying on the cross and so forth. We don't have to. In my opinion, that cross divides the top of that hot cross bun into 4 sections. 4 sections can represent all kinds of things in Wicca. It can represent the seasons. It can represent the different suits in the tarot. Any number of things. If you stop and think about it, you can work in 4s to represent those 4 sections on the top of a hot cross bun. So, incorporate those. Better still, make them yourself with fruits that you dried from last year's harvest. And because that's what they used to do. They used to harvest, dry them, fruits. They'd keep them going through the winter. At the end of the winter, anything that was left, they could use up in things like this, because the fresh stuff was soon going to be available. So it's quite poignant to actually make hot cross buns to do that with, to symbolise what our forefathers would have done. And on the subject of food, Ostara, feasting and food. No pagan celebration is really complete without a meal to go along with it. For Ostara, celebrate with foods that honour the coming of the spring. Eggs, early spring greens, shoots and sprouts, and of course the all-important outdoor barbecue. It is the time of year when new life is beginning to form and fresh little green things are starting to poke their way out of the chilly dirt. If you're really lucky, you may be able to find some spring greens to nibble on. Look for recipes to brighten up your Ostara celebration. The only rule to the Ostara feast is think fresh. And on that note, down in the description below, I will be leaving a couple of printouts for you, not just the lesson of course, but that will be there too. That is a recipe that you are welcome to print out and try out to go with your barbecue for Ostara. This is an Amish style potato salad with your ingredients obviously there and the method there, and couldn't be simpler and very delicious, and it's an interesting new twist on a normal plain potato salad. And those of you that like potato salad, and it's a popular one in our house, print that out and give that a go and have that with your Ostara feast. And also in the description down below will be another link to this printout here. Now this printout here is on making an Ostara tree, and it's either it could be go on your altar, it can be a decoration for the room. It's certainly something that you'll have a bit of fun making. You'll certainly keep your children quiet for an afternoon, getting their participation in there. But remember, if the weather's nice, sit at a table outdoors and do it outside. Don't keep them inside. But if winter's still hanging on a bit and it's a rainy day, perfect. Keep them quiet by getting them to do that. Alright, so they will be, as I say, the links to those will be in the description down below, and you'll be able to print those out. Okay, this week's assignment. I want you to continue with your daily meditation and visualization, but over the next week, I want you to do it outside when possible, weather permitting, of course. Allow yourself to be warmed by the sun's rays. Enjoy the warmer weather and take in the joys of spring. Watch the trees waking up, the flowers blooming, the birds nesting, and the lambs playing in the field. This is spring. This is Ostara, watching the world come to life again. So that basically sums up what this festival is all about. It's the first one that you can have outside, and as I say, I recommend you cook outside, you do everything else, spend the day outside. We actually have planned, as we try and do most years, weather permitting, is we are outside from first thing in the morning, and we're preparing garden beds, we're planting seedlings, we're planting seeds, we're doing a bit of weeding, tidying up, and we spend the whole day not working hard but just gently pottering around and enjoying the outdoors, enjoying soaking up the sun's rays, soaking up the warmth, looking at everything that's coming into bud and the leaves opening. It's just glorious. And that's what we're going to do again this year. And we're going to have an outdoor barbecue, and we're going to have that Amish potato salad, you can bet. And for morning tea, we might even have those hot cross buns I spoke of earlier. But we'll wait and see. Okay, so down in the description below, you will be able to get the printout for Ostara, lesson 21. Okay, you will also be able to get the printout for the Ostara tree decoration, as well as the recipe for the Amish style potato salad. So those three will be in the description below. There's also the email address of the school that's down there. What else is down there? There's a link to our affiliation with the book repository, so any books you want to get, doesn't have to be on Wicca, can be on anything, or can be found in the book repository. Great value, free postage worldwide, a great company to deal with, very reliable. And any books, if you click on that link, go into the book repository, any purchases you make once you're in there, as long as you go in through that link, means that the school will get a little bit of money every time you make a purchase, and it just helps us out keeping the channel going and bringing these lessons to you. And seeing as there is a lot of value, particularly in Wiccan books, there's books on every subject, and every Wiccan collects books, believe me. So any you want to buy, do us a favour and go through there. Alright, so that's all from this for this lesson for this week. Should have rung that earlier, shouldn't I? So, if you enjoyed this lesson, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any other lessons. And in the meantime, it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya!